But what did little Gerda think when Kay did not return? What had become of him, she wondered. No one knew. Gerda wept bitterly. It was a long, sad winter, but spring came at last, and the warm sunshine. I shall put on my new red shoes, she said early one morning, and I'll go down to the river to ask about him. She kissed her sleeping grandmother and went out quite alone. Have you seen my playmate Kay? She asked the waves. I'll give you my new red shoes if you give him back to me. The waves seemed to nod in a strange fashion, so she climbed into a boat that lay in the reeds, took off her shoes and threw them as far out as she could. But the waves carried them straight back to her. Then she became aware that the boat was floating away from the shore, for it had not been moored fast and went gliding away, gathering speed all the time. Perhaps the river will carry me to little Kay, Gerda thought, and she sat still, watching the pretty banks. There were flowers and trees and fields of sheep and cows, but not a single person anywhere. At last she came to an orchard of cherry trees. In the middle was a little house with blue and red windows and a thatched roof, while standing outside were 2 wooden soldiers who presented arms whenever anyone passed. Gerda called out, and from the house appeared an old woman leaning on a crooked stick. She was wearing a large sun hat painted all over with wonderful flowers. She caught the boat with her hooked stick and drew it to the land. You poor child, she said. However did you come to be floating here all alone in the great wide world? When Gerda had told her story and asked if she had seen little Kay, the old woman said that he had not passed there yet, but would surely come by later. Then she gave the little girl some cherries and combed her shining hair with a golden comb. The memory of Kay began to fade from Gerda's mind, for the old woman was a witch, though not a wicked witch. She used magic only now and then for her own amusement, and just now she very much wanted to keep little Gerda with her. Then she went into the garden and touched all the rose bushes with her stick, and they sank deep into the earth without a trace. She feared that if Gerda saw roses, she would think of her own on the roof, and so remember little Kay and go on with her journey. After that she took the little girl into the garden. How lovely it was! There were flowers of every kind, of every season in the year. Gerda jumped for joy and played among them till the sun went down behind the cherry trees. She played there the next day and the next. But as time went on, it seemed to her that one kind of flower was missing. Which could it be? She was looking at the old woman's sun hat with the painted flowers when she saw the loveliest flower on it was a rose. The old woman had forgotten about this. Gerda ran to the garden and searched for a rose, but it was in vain. Her tears began to fall just where a rose bush lay buried, and the bush sprang up again full of beautiful blossoms. Gerda now remembered little Kay. Oh, I have lingered here too long, she said. Roses, do you know where Kay can be? Is he dead and lost to me forever? No, said the roses. We have been under the earth, and he was not there. Kay is not dead. Oh, thank you, said Gerda, and she ran out of the garden and into the wide world.